My fellow Texans, this is a proposal for our great state to act on a good idea that will restore and enhance our school funding, normalize our mortgage lending environment, support our state economy, and will help lead our nation's housing and financial sectors to a more sustainable future. I'm proposing the state of Texas sponsor the creation of a 501c3 nonprofit corporation whose primary mission will be to purchase agency-eligible home loans from mortgage lenders throughout the state, package them into mortgage-backed securities, and sell them to investors around the world. It will guarantee the timely payment of principal and interest on those securities with an ever-growing guarantee reserve fund. This fund will serve to reduce and possibly eliminate taxpayer risk regarding mortgage securitization. Creating this company will secure a permanent source of liquidity for the Texas mortgage and real estate markets. It will ensure the availability and affordability of mortgage financing for all Texans, which will support our home values, which will in turn support our school and local government funding. It's designed to preserve the gold standard of responsible lending while preparing us for the future, and it will help transition the industry away from the federal government dominance of mortgage lending. Because a nonprofit that meets its mission is not required to pay corporate taxes nor distribute profits to investors, this company will be able to bank well over 80% of its gross revenues into an ever-growing reserve fund that will reassure mortgage-backed securities investors they will always be repaid, and it will replace a government guarantee with an agency guarantee backed by a mountain of cash. The reason a state-sponsored nonprofit corporation will work best are straightforward. State sponsorship guarantees the company is transparent and properly regulated. The nonprofit status removes the motive to take greater risk for the sake of higher profits and gives it the maximum ability to build its reserves. A nonprofit corporation can also pay market rates for the most talented personnel, and with proper legislation, no one will ever be able to touch its reserve fund or require it to lower its credit standards. And perhaps best of all, it's neither a state agency nor a private for-profit company. It's important to note that the CFPB's mortgage market reforms assume a purely private market in the future, and that Fannie and Freddie will no longer exist. However, loans that currently meet Fannie and Freddie standards will be exempt from the new rules for at least the next 7 years. This institution will only purchase agency-eligible loans from Texas mortgage lenders, and with 7 years, it will have multiple billions of dollars in reserve. For the past 75 years, Fannie Mae set the gold standard for credit quality, sound underwriting, and safe and affordable mortgage loan product. Since the collapse, mortgage credit has remained overly strict because lenders are in fear of being forced to buy back loans for minor technical reasons and fear of non-compliance with all of the new regulations. Under the Texas Mortgage Guaranty Corporation, certified underwriters will be empowered with the ability to override software decisions if they feel it's warranted, and will use technology to track all parties involved on each loan to monitor for fraud and incompetence. This company will remove the fear of loan buybacks and restore accountability in underwriting, and it will always comply with state and federal law. The FHFA has acknowledged that Fannie and Freddie's technology platforms for securitization are old and limited in their capabilities, and they've asked for help with building a new one. This company will be able to partner with the agencies to build a state-of-the-art platform that allows for multiple participants in the future of mortgage securitization. As other states and private companies build their own securitization firms, they'll be able to plug seamlessly into this new platform. Texas does over $35 billion a year in mortgages. Our markets and economy are healthy and growing, and we already have world-class regulatory and technology infrastructures in place, and some of the brightest mortgage minds in the country are right here in Texas. If anyone can do this, it's us. In order to achieve the economies of scale necessary to succeed, I'm estimating this company will need a minimum of $300 million to get up and running. $200 million will be used to jumpstart the reserve fund, and $100 million used for operating capital. The $100 million will be used to secure up to $1 billion in financing to purchase and sell loans each month, and at a minimum 1% profit margin and just 1/3 market share, it will be able to bank at least $100 million per year in reserves. With more initial funding, higher profit margins, and a larger market share, it can set aside substantially greater reserves much more quickly. There are several sources this funding can come from, and it's a relatively small amount in the scheme of things. The more we put in initially, the sooner the positive impacts will be felt. This company will have at least 7 or 8 different departments: securitization, credit policy, technology, compliance and audit, loss mitigation, appraisal, and I strongly recommend a loan servicing department or even a separate nonprofit servicing company. It will also have a financial education department to teach all Texans how to responsibly manage money and credit to ensure a steady stream of prime qualified borrowers well into the future. If and when our interest rates rise, it will hurt our markets and school funding. And if all we have in the future are the QRM and QM, our real estate markets and school funding will be negatively affected. But if we have the Texas Mortgage Guaranty Corporation in place, we could very well have the lowest interest rates for borrowers with the highest yields for investors and the safest mortgage-backed securities than anywhere else in the nation. Having this mechanism in place will insulate our markets from the dangerous developments headed our way. My name is Rick Barron, and I've been making home loans in Texas since 1983. I'm convinced it's much wiser to create a replacement for Fannie and Freddie with a stronger business model rather than throwing the baby out with the bathwater and trying to reinvent the wheel. If you trust Washington and Wall Street to lead us in the right direction, then you don't need to do anything. But if you agree with me and feel we can do it better, please share this message with others and forward it to your state lawmakers and ask them to act on it. If you are a state lawmaker and you'd like more details, please contact me directly to discuss this proposal. I hope you can see this as a good solution for Texas, and I'm sure it will prove to be a good solution for the country. Thank you for your time.